All right, boys, welcome in. It's Take It to the Bank, Sonoma. As always, I am your host, Jay Paglia. With me alongside my guy Coop, my NASCAR partner in crime, my buddy Reed Cooper. I'm struggling today, Coop. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a little tired. I'm gonna try to bring the energy for you because I know you're gonna break my balls if I don't. But what's going on, Coop?
I'm liking this under 52.5 first quarter in this basketball game.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
I hope so, Coop. There's 50 seconds in it, and they got 33 points. If you don't like it, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
All
They scored 48 and 49 in the first three games.
So good for you. Way to hit that NBA winner, Coop. I did not bet the NBA. So yeah, Sonoma road course, NASCAR. First time the Xfinity Series has been there, right? Ever, because it trucks.
I don't know about ever, but yeah, definitely in a while.
In a while, at least.
Could have been.
Right?
Could be forever. I don't know.
So quickly to recap last week, the truck series went exactly as we thought it would. I thought Enfinger had at least a top tier level truck. So I got on him at 10-1 pre-race. We hit him again live at 16-1 when Coop jumped on board. And then in addition to that, we hit his top five at plus 170. We hit Stuart Friesen top five twice at plus 220 and plus 170. And I tweeted out last Wednesday that I thought that the money-making race of the weekend was that truck race at Gateway, and I was right, at least for me.
Do you think we could mysteriously wake up tomorrow how we did last week, and Stuart Friesen's number goes from plus 170 on 365 to plus 220, and we see the same thing with Kyle Larson tomorrow?
Not a fucking shot. No chance.
Okay.
The Xfinity Series, that was the frustrating race of the weekend for sure. We were on Allgaier. He was in the lead with 2 laps to go. We had the drivers in second and third, I believe, as well. We would have made probably 6 units on the race had it stayed green. It didn't. And at least I ended up losing 5.5 units on the Xfinity race, which was a tough pill to swallow, regardless of what we made a few hours before that. That was rough. It was a tough one. Any thoughts on Xfinity last week?
No, I'm trying to figure out if I should hit the over the half right now.
Okay. Cup Series. The race was basically meh for me. I ended up getting on Busch at 4.5-1, and I made a half unit on the race personally. Coop had a much better race. Now,
Kyle Busch,
why did he have a much better race? He hit Kyle Busch a few times live, which we all found out in a tweet after the race was over and not during the race. I guess I'm not good enough to get that information until after the race is over. Hey. But, I digress. It is what it is.
I made my bet. If you want to double down on drivers or triple down on drivers, hey, more power to you. I don't recommend it, but I felt pretty good about it last week, seeing how the race was playing out. So I did.
All in all, I can't complain about the NASCAR weekend. I made 11 units, which is good for us with as much as we invest. So I was happy. I have to get right in MMA because it's been a rough fucking couple months. But we'll work on that. We'll get it right. But yeah, so it was a good weekend all in all.
Adam Meyer's along for the ride tonight.
No, he's not. He's Fugazi. He's Fugazi along for the ride because he's not going to be here on Sunday. He's not going to be here this weekend.
You got buzzer beater, JW, Philly.
Yeah, welcome in, boy.
Sign collectible.
Wet the beak. Have a taste. One final note. I've had a couple people reach out to me that are tailing our NASCAR action this season for the first time, right? What people say most to me are 2 things. One, I wish I can get the numbers that you get, but I only have one or two sports books that I use. So unfortunately, unless you guys have 8 to 10 shops available to you at a login's notice, you're going to struggle to find the numbers that we do. When Coop started betting, he was using a couple books, right? He was getting killed price wise. And this season, the first thing he said to me was, I'm ready. I got 8 books. I'm all set to go. I'm ready for the year. And
Yeah.
that's when the market really opens up to you. So my suggestion is this: rather than depositing $500 in 2 sports books, take that $1,000 and deposit $100 at 8 to 10 sports books. And if you're winning, you will increase your profitability immediately if you're on the right side. The second thing that people say to me is that it's very hard to tail everything you're on because you only hit about 35% of your bets on a good month. This is 100% true, but unfortunately, that's what's going to happen when your average bet is over, plus 300. Coop and I's average bet is over plus 300 probably if you took the year as a whole. Even with, if you just took NASCAR, forget about it, it's way over that. But when you include football and you include MMA, it's about plus 300 because I checked for me personally. There is literally nothing that we can do about that. All I'll say to you is that there have been hundreds of people through the last few years that have tailed our NASCAR action, and all of them have had different size bankrolls, and they all make money. So that's something that you got to figure out on your own. All we can do is give you the bets that we've made. The rest is up to you guys. All right. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
Anything to
So,
add
so
there?
yeah, I mean, last year I had 3 books. And now I have 8, really 7. If you really, 8 would be the points bet. I only used it, I think, twice, to be honest with you. But waiting for Superbook. So that'll be 8 for me, definitely. And then who knows what points bet's going to happen with Fanatics. So maybe
Right.
9. Who knows? We'll see.
Right.
But yeah, I have a great example of that tonight, and one of the bets I want to talk about.
All right.
When you search around using
Yeah.
different books.
So like Adam Meyer said, and Adam, who's a recreational bettor, I have legit 8 books now just for NASCAR. Yeah, I have a dozen sports books available to me at any time. And that's just how you have to really be, or you're going to get killed in price, especially if you're betting on a website like DraftKings exclusively. I mean, forget about it. You'll get killed. So, all right,
Uh,
Coop.
and I mean, I guess you talk about it in NASCAR. Like, it's probably even more important in, like, NFL, NBA, MMA, when you're betting minus numbers.
100%. Yeah. Especially when you're talking point spreads. That half a point is everything to you. If you're only betting on 2 books, you'll get killed.
Hmm.
Recap of last weekend, Gateway. What were your takeaways?
It was boring, very boring, very boring, uh, and
Coop,
even
you got
more
to come
boring.
back. Fuck that game. You got to come back to me. Come on.
It's boring, man. But no, I mean, you couldn't pass. So I don't know what to tell you, other than it wasn't very good. Very little to no passing.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
bad. Bad. What did you
yeah,
think?
yeah. I thought it was bad. I thought it was
Yeah.
bad. But you know what? Like a flat track, right? That like everybody says race is kind of like a big short track. I didn't expect a. Did you expect a lot of passing last weekend? I didn't.
No, I didn't expect. I mean, I guess the one thing that surprised me was the rotors that were having an issue on the cars. But other than that, nothing really surprised me.
So, I watched some of last season's race today. I know you watched the whole race earlier in the week. I think a lot of what you said to me in the DM was true, man. God, it's going to be hard for people to pass if we don't have a lot of cautions.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, man. You know, I mean,
And somebody could legitimately.
after I watched
If
that race, I was like, man, this is like, the same race we saw last week, just on a different track.
if if the same guy gets out front in the few pit stops that they have, whether it's because of cautions, obviously with no stage breaks, you might have somebody lead 80% of the race. One guy.
Yeah, I mean, what makes it tough is like, throughout the race, like the second place car was able to hang with the first place car for a good little bit. It'll only be back by like a second, but it always went to 2 seconds and sometimes 3 seconds. But if you look at the third place car was 5-6 seconds behind.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you were the cars that were in the back end of the top 10, 15 seconds behind, so that makes it really, I mean, that even gives the leader a little bit of advantage and the second place car, on pit road if they're under green and, they have a slight hiccup.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, if they're under green, think about if this race stays green for a while. Think about the lead that the leader is going to have in this race. It's going to be huge if it stays green, like substantially. But I don't know. Like, do you have to pit at the end of stage one? Do you have to pit?
No, you don't have to pit. I think
until where?
It's 40 for gas. All right, so they have to pit twice for gas. But I think the big thing is the tires. Like 25 laps, I think was the longest they ran last year, somewhere around in there. And at the end of the first stage, you could see that Chase Elliott's tires were falling off. Buescher was able to get around him, and he probably would have dropped a couple more spots too if the race would have continued on. So you've got to think, do they try 3 stops to help with the tires, or do they do 2 stops and then hope that the tires outlast the fresher tires from the margin of victory? So I don't know.
So that's really a big advantage. Like if it stays green, right? Think about that. If it stays green, the leader definitely, and probably the guy in second, has flexibility to make a decision on whether or not they want to stop a third time, because they might be able to and not be that far back if this race stays right.
Right. So I guess you got to really think, like, I don't think if there's not a caution. So let's say there's not a caution at the beginning of the race, okay? We said they can go around 40 laps on gas. So 40 and 40 is 80. That means 30. So if they did 40-40, they would have 30 laps left. So if you split it up 3 times, you've got to go, let's say, 30, 35, 40. That doesn't even get you there. So I don't know. I mean, like, it all just depends upon when that first car pits. That's competitive, so to say.
Right.
If it stays green, like, is that at lap 30? Does he pull people in? Because you don't want to be out on the track or the course and not have pit when the yellow comes out.
Right. 100%.
Because then you're going to lose a lot of track time. But then again, so let's say, if
what I want to know is, when do you think at what point, what has to happen in this race, do you think, for the race to flip on itself?
For the race to flip, let's say, like, Brett Keselowski, Joey Logano, Austin Dillon, they pit at lap, 30, and there's been no caution. All right. And the leaders run it out to lap 40. Okay. So there's 10 laps of different tire wear. So, let's say there's a caution at lap 10 after that. So at lap 50.
Right.
So now
Right.
you got 20 laps and you got 10 laps. Like, do those 20 lappers stay out or do
Right.
they come in? I don't know. Like
Right.
it's tough, man. It's tough. But
So
it's going to take something crazy to flip the race.
I think so too. Because I think that those guys out in front are going to have an advantage in a couple of different ways, especially a little flexibility in decision making, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was looking at track comps, I wasn't sure which road course raced the most like Sonoma. I see some people say Coda, some people say Road America. Also, I've even heard some people say Watkins Glen. So I'm not sure. All I did was I threw out all the Rovals because I don't think they mean anything as it pertains to a true road course. And I looked at all the road courses since the beginning of last season. So what did you look at?
I watched Coda last year, and then I watched Sonoma, I watched Coda this year, and I watched Sonoma last year. And I didn't throw out. I mean, I did throw out the Roval courses. So for me, I think I don't know if Coda is really a good representation of Sonoma, and I didn't get to watch Watkins Glen, but I think Watkins Glen, really isn't either because I think it's speed. I think it probably would be more of a Road America. But each one of these is kind of their own entities. So Sonoma is Sonoma.
Yeah.
I do know that we keep talking about tire wear, but they continue to bring a tire every week that doesn't
fall apart. Yeah,
right.
It just doesn't fall apart.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, tire wear could be irrelevant. I've heard people say that this is the most difficult track course for tires. But I mean, I read all kinds of data about how Coda was on tires, but it meant nothing, So I don't know. I'm just gonna have to wait and see.
So if track position ends up meaning everything, right? Digging into who has qualified well at these courses is huge, which is what we did. Which is what we did this week. And every road course since the beginning of last year, Tyler Reddick has qualified inside the top 5. Chase Elliott's
true road courses. I haven't looked at those.
Yeah, no, yeah. I only pulled it from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 races. And it was Reddick in the top 5 at every race, Elliott in the top 5, Elliott or his car in the top 5 at every race but 1, and then Larson every race but 2. But this brings me into the big question mark of this race, which is really what I wanted to talk to you about this week. Looking at this race, there are 3 people I think that you could put in their own category. That's Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, and Chase Elliott. I don't care how Chase Elliott's looked this year. I don't care if he's in a good whip on a road course. He is a king. So you cannot throw him out. He 100% deserves to be one of the favorites to win this race, no matter what's happened this year. So I kind of put those 3 guys in their own little grouping. But immediately after that, like I said to you earlier in the week, I think Will Byron is fucking legit. And I think that he could win this race 100%. And if you looked at his qualifying in the top 5, he has qualified in the top 5 a bunch. Has it been as much as them? No, but he has. And then after Will Byron in that same group, I would put Daniel Suarez, Austin Cindric. I guess you always have to respect Allmendinger, although I think Xfinity is really where he's been able to do his dirty work. But it brings me into like
Chastain too.
Okay, I'll give you Ross maybe. But what about Busher, McDowell, like these guys that showed up in a big way on road courses last year? Even Blaney was underrated, I think, on road courses last year. But what do you do with Ford? Like, I don't know what to do with those guys. That's the one piece of this race that I'm like, are they going to show up? Like, is Busher going to qualify in the top 5 again, like last year?
So what I've decided to do is, I'm not betting a Ford to win. All right, pre-race. If Chris Buescher gets out front on that in the lead, or Michael McDowell gets into the lead, will I bet them? Probably.
Because
All
their
right.
prices will be good enough where they haven't gotten away from us anyway.
Right, but
Right.
more importantly, the guy who was in first place on every restart,
Right. No,
led every lap.
I understand what you mean, but what you're
Right,
saying is, and I'm in the same boat with you.
but
Lay off Ford because you're going to be able to get the prices that you want to be able to get on them live, except maybe for Blaney. I don't know. Maybe they might drop Blaney fast.
But when it comes to props, how I'm going to do it is I won't have any Chevys against Ford.
Okay.
I will play Ford versus Ford and Ford versus Toyota.
Okay. I'll buy that. Yeah, well, in terms of the outright market, we'll stay there. I'm totally with you. I can't bet a Ford pre-race. I've already made a couple bets. We'll talk about that. But like I think that those 3 guys deserve to be in their own little group. But I do think that, like we talked about, Cindric, Byron, Suarez, Chastain, those guys are right behind them. And I do think that, and maybe you could say Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman's been underrated on road courses, but I do separate Byron a little bit. Like I think it's like the top 3, Byron in his own little group, and then the rest.
Like I would have put that at the beginning of the week. That's how I would have probably put it. But how I currently stand right now is it's like Elliott and Larson are in their own group. Then Reddick's in his own group. And then Byron's in his own group.
And then the rest.
And then you have Cindric, Chastain, Suarez, Dinger, Busher, and McDowell.
Okay, so we're close. We're close.
Right.
We're close. Okay. Yeah. So let's get into the odds because we'll roll that right into the to the market. I'm only going to look at Caesars because they have so many friggin' props. But right now, your odds-on favorite to win this race at Caesars is Kyle Larson at +4.25. You can get him at 5-1. I haven't bet Kyle Larson yet, but I will 1,000,000% be betting Kyle Larson because, Coop, I thought about it. Even though I'm on the other 2 strongest guys that we think, I think if you said to me right now who wins the race on Sunday, I say Kyle. I think it's probably Larson. My gut says it's probably him. But I don't know. It's so fucking close. Tyler Reddick has been so ridiculous on road courses. Like, would it shock you if he just crushes the field on Sunday? No, it wouldn't, right? Any of those 3 guys.
No.
But I am going to bet him, but not at 5-1. I'm going to figure out a way to get a better number on him with the UFC. Is what I'm going to do. Coop, you're going to have to settle down. There are angles this week, and you got 3 guys at 5-1. So you're going to have this week. I haven't bet a parlay in a month. This week, you're going to have to settle down. All right. So we're both together on Larson, right? We both like him. You haven't. Have you bet him yet?
I've made one bet so far this week, and that's Kyle Larson to win the Xfinity race and Chase Elliott to win the Cup race at 2,500.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind that. Where was that?
It was at Caesars.
How much can you get down on that?
I got 100. That was all I was able to get on it.
Nah. All right,
Sorry.
It's still 25.
I know it's probably not good money for the peasants.
No, listen. The peasants. I was a peasant today. I had to go to 5 different books to bet an Xfinity race today. 5 different FanDuel accounts to bet one guy today. So believe me, I'm a peasant with you. But anyway, all right. So we both like Larson. Tyler Reddick, I bet at 6-1 because it was the best number you could find at him all week at Superbook. I had to hit the button at 6-1. So I'm on him, Tyler Reddick at 6-1, and then I'm on Elliott at 5.5-1 because I think that number's fair. He was plus 300 to win every road course 2.5 years ago. So at 5.5-1, I think that's a really fair number on a guy who is still the best road course driver, probably that is an elite Cup driver. Yeah, I mean, guys like Dinger and Suarez, I don't know where you put them, but like Chase Elliott, in my opinion, is still the best elite Cup Series road course driver in the series. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, and I think one thing that I continue to hear this week a lot, you were talking about the different track courses of the road. A lot of it is rhythm, and rhythm this week. You hear a lot about rhythm. So I do think that helps Chase Elliott.
Okay. After that, Kyle Busch 9-1. We didn't. 2 guys I said to you wasn't sure what to think about were Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney. What do you think about Busch this week?
I'm kind of in the mindset of how you were last week with Kyle Busch, and really didn't have much to think about him. Where I was really strong on Kyle Busch throughout the week last week. I'm not this week. And I know he finished second at Coda, but like we just sat here and named a bunch of drivers in different categories.
And we didn't talk about him.
And we didn't even talk about
7
Kyle
or 8
Busch.
deep. Yeah.
Right. So I guess that right there should kind of tell you where my mind is with him.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you.
So, I think, they're in this short track package, and he hasn't had very good speed in it all year, but he did finish second at Coda. And I went back and looked, and he had like 8th or 9th best green flag speed. So I think he might have gained a couple of spots there at the end due to some cautions and accidents, which I guess we should go back and talk about. Like, we don't expect very many cautions this week.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Figured what, 2, 3?
Like, if
they're
you
not
gave
quick
me,
they're not quick to pull the trigger either. If you could move that car, they don't want to call a caution.
So, like, I've been thinking about that this week. Like, if you told me the line was 3.5, I would feel comfortable betting the under.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But if you told me the line was 2.5, I don't feel as comfortable. But I feel somewhat. I think it's going to be 1 or 2, because there's just not that spot on the track like these other road courses,
right,
where you see them go 3 or 4 wide and they dive bomb each other and things like that.
And there's no killer first turn that could ruin you.
Right. Right. And
yeah.
Like Corey said, last year's race had 2 cautions. Like, if you go back and look even farther, there's examples of this where they've had a race where the only caution was the stage brakes, and they've had a race where the only caution was 1 minus the stage brakes. So I just see a low amount of cautions. Now, in the Xfinity race, it could be a little bit different because, 1, those drivers aren't as familiar with this course, and 2, they have a lot more shit boxes on the track who could
right
die
now
out.
Your gut says how many Fords are in the top 5? 1.
How many are in the top 5 at the end?
No, qualifying tomorrow.
Qualifying. Either 0 or 1.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
And that would be between Cindric, Busher, and McDowell.
Yeah. Two of those guys qualified in the top 5 last year. After him, Will Byron, 10-1. Man, that's a fair price. That's a fair
Yeah,
price on Will Byron. He's
I
been
agree.
very, very underrated on road courses in this new car. So I will probably try to get on him using a minimal amount of units, like a half a unit or a quarter of a unit to try to get a price, something on him, because I do think that he could definitely win the race for sure.
Yeah, like if you go back and you look at the sort package, you got like Larson and Byron who have been very, very fast.
Right.
Uh, you go back and you look at qualifying minus last year at Sonoma, and Byron, I think, has qualified in the top 8 3 times, in the top 5 twice. But if you look at his finishes, his best finish is 9th. And if you go back, like you said, through a lot of these road courses, he's been up there a lot. But something always happens, whether it's, he makes the wrong pit or he has an issue or whatever. Something always happens. So I don't disagree with you.
How did he do it the first? Where did he finish the first race with no stage breaks? At Coda.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Oh, hold on. Let me check that.
But for me, I only want to have one bet really going into this race, and it's either going to be Larson or Byron, and it's probably going to be Larson.
So you don't. I'm surprised that you don't want to try to bet on a couple guys that you think are going to qualify in the top 5.
Well, I'm banking on Kyle Larson winning tomorrow, and I have Chase Elliott at 25-1.
Oh, that's which I do think will happen. So that's fair. That's fair. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's fair.
I don't feel comfortable betting on Reddick. After I watched that Coda race and really looked at it, and then I watched the Sonoma race, it was like night and day. Like he was up there.
I gotta believe
pass any cars.
You gotta throw that out though, bro.
He's been so and then, like good. The thing is, like, how much more could it be improved between last year and this year? At Sonoma. So I don't know. I just have a hard time. I think the way I'm looking at it is, I think 2 of the 3 HMS cars are going to start first and second. Reddick will start 3rd to 5th, which is basically what he did last year. And I'll just wait. Maybe I can get what you got, a 600 or a 700.
So Byron finished 5th at Coda. Yeah, I think I really think that three of the top 5 cars, qualifying wise, are going to be Larson, Byron, and Elliott, and I think Reddick will be the 4th.
So,
and somebody else.
If Byron goes out and he wins the pole,
he's going to be 6th.
Hold on. And Larson is 2nd or Elliott's 2nd, and then the other one's like, let's say 3rd to 5th. What do you think he'll come in at?
I think that Reddick will probably be like
Larson. Byron. Excuse me, Byron.
If Byron gets the pole, I think he'll be like 6-1, 6.5 to 1, because that car's been so good, right? That car's been so good. They have to respect it.
Right.
I think that if Elliott and Larson are in row 2 or row 3, the numbers don't change on them at all. I think that if Reddick is in row 3, he might go to like 6-1 instead of 5-1. They're going to be very hesitant to change the numbers on those 3 guys if they qualify in the top 10.
See, like that's where I'm kind of at, is one, hoping Kyle Larson wins tomorrow. So I have that Elliott 25-1, betting Kyle Larson 5-1. And then if Willie B does get the pole, I'll take the 6 or 6.5 on him. But I'm concerned that if he doesn't get the pole, all right, he's going to stay around 10-1, and I've wasted money. on it.
Right.
So in this sense, I'm all right taking the 6 or 6.5.
Like
So,
he didn't qualify in the top 10 at Sonoma last year, but in
right.
2021
But all the other years he's qualified very well.
2019 he qualified second.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have to get that, Coop. I have to increase that 10-1 number before they qualify. I have to.
Well, we should have just bet the over first half, like I said, and we would have won that bet.
Yeah. All right.
Because I got 94.5. Boom, bang. All right,
So
now I'm all yours. I won't place any more bets.
Fucking guy. After Byron Chastain 12-1, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think he could win this race. Like unless he has a phenomenal first pit stop or second pit stop that gets him out front. Like I don't know. Chastain. Where like
I think I don't know. I mean, I'm just of the opinion that like if like one of these other guys, like a Chastain or a Dinger or a Suarez or McDowell or Buster, if any one of them go out,
you think anybody gets out front, they're going to stay out front. It basically is what you think.
Yeah.
Right.
Until a caution hits.
Right. So after Chastain, Dinger 14-1. Like here's the thing with Dinger. If he goes out and puts down a fast lap tomorrow, he's going to be breaking our balls all fucking day to beat us. But what happens if he comes out and starts 20th? How's he ever going to drive to the front, even though he might be the best road course driver on the track?
Right. So, like, if AJ Allmendinger gets the pole, what number do you think he goes down to?
10-1.
Okay. Huh.
He's 14-1 at Caesars right now.
Okay. That's fair.
If he gets the pole, I would say probably 10-1.
That's fair. But like AJ has struggled in Cup cars on road courses.
Yeah, he's really Xfinity, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Danny Suarez, you got to take seriously. 16-1.
Yep.
He is one of those cars that qualifies pretty well, man. He qualified 8th at last year. He qualified in the top 5 at Sonoma in 2019. Last year at Watkins Glen, he was not in the top 10. 2021 Watkins Glen, no. 2019 Glen, yeah. And then this year at Coda, 5th. Last year at Coda, 2nd. So Road America, he qualified not in the top 10 in 2022, not in the top 10 in 2021. So he's hit or miss, but if he's hit, he's in the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a sneaky driver who could win the pole. Like if you look at Suarez last week, I told you to watch Daniel Suarez last week. He started 10th or 12th or 11th somewhere. And, I mean, he was basically there the whole race, all the way up to like 5th and 6th and 7th at some points. So he was definitely much better than his teammate Ross Chastain last week. So he's carrying a little bit more momentum into a race that, he won last year.
Yeah, I'm with you. I put him right in that category behind Byron. I think that he's one of the guys that, you could be looking to target. And I also think Alex Bowman is low key, really rock solid on road courses. Don't you think?
Yeah, he's rock solid, but like I don't know if he's rock solid enough to contend for the win. Like I think he's rock solid for like a top 10. And I know a couple times he's been up there contending, but like I would really like to go back and look like, is it the car or was it just cautions that helped him get to that position?
qualified in the top 5 at Coda last year, in the top 5 at Coda this year.
But again, that's a speed.
Right.
And like, when I go back and look at that race, like they talked about it so much on the commentary. Like Tyler Reddick kicked everybody's ass in the deep turns, and there are not deep turns here. And they were talking about how William Byron was so fast on the, long straightaways. Well, there's not long straightaways here. It's constant, a lot of turning S's, up and down hills, slight turn here, slight turn there. It's much more of a finesse type of track, rhythm type of track. And I think experience has helped out a lot here. And I think it shows, like you were talking about, like all the drivers that qualify on the road courses in the top 5. Well, frickin' Larson's got like 5 poles here in a row, and I think 4 of them are from his speed.
Yeah, definitely. 2022, 2021, and 2019. I checked. He won the pole all 3 times. And Elliott was right behind him twice. Byron was right behind him the 3rd time. I think that it's going to be the Tyler Reddick and Motorsports show tomorrow. That's barring a catastrophe. But, there are some prices out there. Austin Cindric, 20-1. Buescher, 20-1. Blaney, 30-1. But like Coop and I were talking about, all these numbers are good enough for us. They are not going to adjust these numbers fast enough to the point where we won't be able to take advantage of them live. And that's why we're looking at the top of the board pre-race.
Like, I don't want to be greedy this week, and wait for a number, so to say, like most weeks. And like all those 20 and longer shots, like I'm happy if I get 15 or 20, depending upon who it is, versus 20 or 30.
Sure.
Because we have
only so many bullets we could waste, right?
The margin of error is so small this week.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you totally. That's what happens when you got 3 guys at 5-1. All right, yeah. So I'm with you. That's the outright market.
Like I can't go out. Like I see people wanting to bet Kevin Harvick and wanting to bet Martin Truex. Like
Toyota.
I can't waste.
You expect nothing from Toyota? What, like Denny Hamlin, Marty Bell? They were all so horrific last year on road courses. Like, where are you at with them? Do you think that any of them besides Reddick has a prayer?
Like, I think, all right, so if Larson, Elliott, Byron, Suarez, Chastain, McDowell, Cindric, Buescher, and Reddick get out front, I don't think anybody's going to pass them. All right? I think their cars are going to be that good. Like, Kyle Busch, I think, is in the next group. Maybe Bowman is in the next group. And maybe like a Truex or a Bell possibly in that group, where I think like 50% of the time, maybe they would hold the lead, and maybe 50% of the time they wouldn't hold the lead. So I don't know. I don't think. I don't know. I just think the winner is gonna come from one of those drivers I mentioned in the first group.
7 or 8. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I think they could chase down like a Busch or, a Truex or a Bell or, a Bowman and somebody like that.
Do you think Goodyear will hear the call from everybody this season and really start to bring a tire that actually matters?
I don't know. I mean, we're so out of the loop of all these discussions that NASCAR and Goodyear have with each other, and I
They
don't know
have to
what it
be
is.
hearing
I mean,
everybody. Everybody's screaming from the rooftop.
right, right, right. And I mean, basically, I mean, we could see a race just like last week where you have to be in the front row to win,
Yeah.
and this week it could be you have to be in the first position to win. And that would be 2 weeks in a row. So yeah, possibly. But I mean, I don't know how good the yelling does and all this and all that. I don't know. But yeah, I'm with everybody else. I would love to see a tire that wears.
Yeah. All right.
That really
So
wears.
that's the outright market. I'm on Reddick at 6-1 and Elliott at 5.5-1. But check the sheet between now to tonight and before practice tomorrow, because I will probably have a couple more guys that I think are going to qualify in the top five at good numbers, trying to get them
With your
home
super
with me.
parlays.
No, let's not. I'm not you. I don't do 6-leg parlays. I do like 2-leg parlays. I'm not greedy. All right, top three. Any top threes that you saw that you had interest in?
No.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. Although, all right, well, that's top three. Top five. Like, I don't mind Will Byron to hit the top five at plus 150.
I can get him at 160 at Barstool. I have him written down.
Yeah, I'm only looking at Caesars. So, like, that's not a bad bet. I'm down with that bet. I think he's going to run very well, and I think that's a fair number.
The other top five that I had interest in was Suarez at 250.
Suarez at 250, I can get behind.
Like, I think if you bet a Byron and a Suarez, I think
I can get behind a Cindric at 3-1 too. Like, why can't he's always there, Coop?
Right.
He's consistently there on these road courses. He might not win, but he's there.
But again, like, the margin of error is so small. Like,
I don't disagree.
On paper, you got to say Larson, Elliott, and Reddick are going to get in the top five. So it only leaves 2 spots with a bunch of drivers who could get there. So I don't know if I can pull the trigger on. Again, that's on paper. In reality, maybe only one of those 3 or 2 of those 3,
right,
guns end up in the top 5.
It might be Busher, McDowell, and Cindric, and me and you are like, what the fuck is going on, man?
Right.
Yeah, that's fair. What about but so top 5 market? I might bet that. I might bet Will Byron to hit the top 5. I don't mind that bet, and it gives you a little cushion on maybe covering that Will Byron win bet.
Sign Collectibles practices at 5 Eastern time.
Yeah. Top 10s. Any top 10s that you saw that interested you?
Again, I really haven't looked at the top 10 market because I kind of like blacked it out because, again, like we've mentioned 7 or 8 drivers who on paper should get there. So really we're only battling for 2 or 3 spots. But then the other piece that's really holding me back is like there's really not a lot of cautions, which is where like the value of the top 10s hits.
Getting somebody at 3-1. That's where because if you base it off performance, you want to gravitate towards the animals, the cars that are phenomenal.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like I could see this being a week where none of those nice values of top 10s make it, or only one makes it, and trying to figure out who that is really hard.
Right.
So I've kind of just not really looked at it.
looking at the prices that I see just going off of Caesars, like I don't mind Alex Bowman at plus money to hit the top 10. I don't mind Bryant taking a shot on Blaney the way he's looked the last couple weeks and on road courses in general at plus 120 or 30, whatever you can get. Like, I guess I don't mind people taking shots on like those two guys, but I don't see anything that sticks out at me that's like, oh, that's got to be bet.
Right. Yep.
Winning team. Hendrick Motorsports at plus 150 is not a bad bet, I don't think. I think all four guys could win the race.
Yeah. Yeah.
All four, I think, could win the race.
That's just, I don't know, 150, man.
I know, but Coop, like, man. I guess I don't mind. Like, if you like, you might like Chastain more than I do this week. Like, if somebody, Suarez is going to be good. If you really
like that was one of the numbers I was looking at earlier this week.
Trackhouse,
but then Ross was the one who I was like, I don't know,
right?
Is it really worth it?
I'm with you there. I'm not sure about him this week.
Like, there's a lot of like you could look at this and say, hey, I can take a HMS to win at 150, and then I'm gonna be on Larson or Elliott or Bell or Byron.
Right.
Like, it just gives me another $150. But then, like, you could say the same thing, like with Tyler Reddick. If Tyler Reddick wins, like, I can just bet Toyota to win at 350 and get $3 more.
Yeah, but here's where I think it's worth it though with HMS, because going off that logic, if one of those four guys, or let's say three guys really at HMS, doesn't win the race, we're probably on the winner at a very good number.
Right.
So that kind of makes me
unless
think,
it's Tyler Reddick.
Unless it's Tyler Reddick, right. Unless it's that's the only guy that could fuck you up, I think. But even still, I think it's worth betting that, because I think that we're going to get a good number on whoever beats those three guys. Like, I'm willing to roll the dice.
And 150 is the best.
I'll look now to see what the best. I didn't even think about that bet until this show. That's why I love this show. This show it's a huge part. I have that 365 up. All right, so I'll go somewhere else. Good. I'll go to MGM. MGM
110.
I don't think MGM even has that bet.
Did you hear what I said it was on 365?
Plus 110?
Yeah.
What? You have any other outs? I could check Barstool.
Yeah, I don't have it on Barstool, but go ahead. What was it on MGM?
They don't have it. It's not. I don't even see it as an option. But Chevy's minus 160.
On Fred, they're 140.
My guess is that's what Barstool is going to be, but I'll check. You know what think about what that number is going to be when when three of those cars are in the top 7. They're going to be minus 120.
Right. Okay. Something we got to think about between tonight and tomorrow.
Plus 160 at Barstool.
All right. Yeah.
They have 8-1 on Trackhouse too for anybody that has it. Oh, Rivers has 160. Do you have it at Rivers?
No, I don't. I only have Barstool since they're the same book.
Oh, you don't have Cammy doesn't offer teams at all for you over there?
Nope, I don't have teams or manufacturer like wins. All I have is Ford, Toyota, and Chevy.
All right, that's a bet. That's a bet that to think about tonight for sure. After the top 10 market and the teams, we can go to top Chevy, top Toyota, top Ford.
Well, let's go to head-to-heads first and groups.
Okay.
Did you have any head-to-heads?
I never have any head-to-heads until we start looking at. I never look at them. That's like something I rarely bet them.
Why?
Go ahead. Let me hear.
Like you need to open up. Why do you just not look at them?
I know you're right. I should open up more. I should. I don't know. I'm programmed to the other way.
Like I have 6, but I don't know if I'm going to go with any of them. I guess looking at like my favorite 2 is Cindric at -105 over AJ Allmendinger.
Okay.
I could see that going either way, but I kind of lean towards Cindric, and I like that number on Cindric.
Okay.
The next one is Will Byron at -105 over Kyle Busch.
Oh, I like that.
That's on DK.
I like that. That's not bad. You know, that matchup that you were just talking about Dinger, Cindric Dinger, they have the exact same thing with Suarez Dinger, where Suarez is the exact same price as Cindric, -105.
Right. I put down Bowman at -110 over Truex. I don't know.
I don't have matchups yet on DK.
Wow. Briscoe +100 over Hamlin. I don't know. And then I got Suarez at -105 over AJ.
Oh yeah.
And then the last one I have is Ross over KB at -105.
So the one that you said that I would bet it would be the Byron over Busch.
Right. Like I like the first 2 that I mentioned, Byron over Busch and Cindric over AJ.
I don't mind the Cindric.
But again, I don't know.
I don't mind Suarez over AJ either.
Right.
Because Dinger, if you look, Coop, as good as he is on these courses, rarely qualifies in the top 10, if ever.
So is that, yeah. So, I mean, I guess that what you're saying is if we want to do it, we need to take it before qualifying.
Like, I'm looking at 11 races right now. He's qualified inside the top 10 3 times.
So, I don't know. I'll let you know. But like I said, Byron and Cindric would be the 2 that I probably am more likely to pull the trigger on.
Yeah,
the only thing holding me back on Byron is just, his finishes here.
Yeah. The one guy that I was tempted to bet this week to win the poll was Byron.
We can look at that in a little bit.
I didn't think his number was that bad relative to his chances. 9-1 to qualify to get the poll compared to the other guys. I don't think that's bad. But all right, so that's matchups. I don't mind that Byron over Busch bet at all. Looking at the groups. Oh, I'm on Reddick at +275 in Group A, and I'm on Elliott, I think, at +275 in Group A over Byron and Larson. Do I feel great about that bet right now? I don't feel great about it because I worry about Kyle Larson more than Willie B. But
what made you feel great enough to drop your nuts on it?
Because I really thought Reddick and Elliott were going to be the nuts, and I still think they might be. They might very well be the nuts. There's just one other guy that could also be the nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I mean, is what I can't cry about a bet I made on Monday. So, but yeah, I'm on both of those guys there. Group B, Bush, Chastain, Dinger, and Suarez. I mean, I don't know. I guess I would say Suarez and Chastain over Bush and Dinger at plus 280. Who would you take in that group? I probably
I'm
wouldn't.
not betting it. I don't care.
No,
There's too many drivers who can win it.
I'm not saying I would bet it, but I'm just looking at them.
You said Busher, Suarez, Dinger, and
Bush, Suarez,
Bush.
Chastain, and Dinger.
Bush, Suarez, Chastain, and Dinger. I think I would just take Suarez.
He's plus 280.
But, I'm not betting it.
Yeah. Yeah, Group C, at Bet365. I don't really see anything. Group D, I don't really see anything. Were there any group bets that you saw that you liked?
Yeah, I got 4.
Go ahead. Where?
The first one is FanDuel, and I'm probably not going to bet it because I missed the number. But it was
Okay.
Michael McDowell at 280 over Truex, Logano, and Hamlin. Now it's 240.
Michael McDowell could fucking easily lay an egg too.
Oh yeah. I like Group B in Caesars, and that's Michael McDowell plus 340 over Logano, Truex, Hamlin, Briscoe, and Kez. I don't know if I'm going to bet
what's
that.
the price?
340. Now my 2 favorite bets on groups. This is my second favorite. Is Cendric at plus 240 and Busher at plus 275 over Bell and Blaney. My concern in that is Blaney.
Sure.
My favorite one is on Fred. It's Busher and Suarez at 255 over Bell and Harvick.
Busher and Suarez. Oh, I like that. See, I have close to that group, but Blaney's in it. I might have that group somewhere. Probably not, though. All right, so that's the groups. I like that Fred bet the most out of all the groups.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, after groups, what do you think about what do you think the price is going to be on the guy that wins stage 2 during the race? If it's Reddick, Larson, or Elliott?
I mean, I guess a lot of it depends upon the flow of the race. But I could see it as low as even money to maybe 200 to 250.
I figured plus 150 is kind of what I thought. If the flow is going like you and I think, if it's going the way that we think it'll go, pretty uneventful, I'm thinking the guy that's like when stage 3 starts, that guy's probably like plus 150.
Right. That's why I said as low as even money, but I don't think it gets higher than 250.
Yeah, I saw earlier in the week the winner of stage 2 wins the race was like plus 275.
I think it's like 250 or 220 now or something.
Caesars has 2-1. I don't know where else that bet's available. I would have to
I,
shop
I,
it.
I don't I don't think it's available anywhere else. Now, do you think a driver wins two stages in this race? And one of the stages being the win?
I think it's possible. I think it's possible that fucking one guy might lead 80% of this race.
Right. But again, like depending upon when the pit stops are and how they flow,
Sure,
like
sure.
I think it's also possible that you can have
I
three different winners
I said the
of the
same
stages.
exact thing in the Discord. Somebody asked that question earlier in the week. So I agree with you. It all depends on where we're at that time. But I don't know. What's the price?
It was minus 114 on FanDuel.
Oh, no. No,
No, yeah,
no.
to win two stages.
What do you think about did you look at I'll tell you a bet for the first time in my NASCAR career that I thought about making this week. And you're probably going to laugh at me. But
No, I have one too.
did you ever look at the exactas on Caesars?
Oh, now I am going to laugh at you. No.
The prices for like Kyle Larson to win the race, Tyler Reddick to finish second, Kyle Larson to win the race, Chase Elliott finish second. They're like around 20 to 1 each, and they go up from there. Like, man,
But
this could really be a race where like we could
yeah,
nail that.
right.
That
You could, but like how many different pairs are you willing to put in?
right, right. You have to basically pick one guy. You have to. I think you have to take like whoever looks the best in practice and qualifying, and just be like, I'm taking Larson Reddick at 16 or 18. I'm taking Larson Elliott at 18. I'm taking Larson Byron at 22. Something like that. Like that's basically would be how you would bet that. You couldn't do it with more than one guy as your main like linchpin to go like number one, I think. But it's
Right.
interesting. Like this is the week where like
But
I think maybe like you could actually make a bet like that if it goes the way we think it should go.
yeah, I don't disagree with you. But like, are you willing to take $1,000? How many times are you going to split it up? 10 different ways? 5 different ways? 4 different
Right,
ways?
right. Probably four different ways, probably. But then, like you said, the margin for error is so small that you could be
Mm-hmm.
throwing away a unit that you could make. That's the
Mm,
problem this week.
right, right. Like
The
one
other
of the
thing
bets
is, do you think that we're going to get stage one winner props anywhere?
I'm
You
trying
think?
to remember if we had them for Coda or not. I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
Remember last year? That was a great bet, man. We were
Yeah,
on that shit all the time.
a
Man. Like
100%.
we won a lot, but we finished second and third a lot too.
We made money though, like a lifetime doing that. I
Yeah,
only did it one time, I think, this year so far. But this is a
yeah,
week where the guy on the pole, the two guys on the front row, like, do you just bet them as soon as the odds drop in the morning before they get like killed?
right, right.
What do you think? Do you think the leader's coming in before the end of stage one? Gun to your head.
It's lap 25. No, I don't.
So I think that if the price, like if both guys are 3 to 1 to win stage one, I think we have to auto bet that.
I don't know. I mean, again, like we could just be throwing away a unit, and then the thing is,
But it's not going to be a driver that beats you, Coop. It's gonna be
but
a caution.
right, but I think the thing is, like, if we lose that bet, it's like what you said earlier. it's because we could potentially be on another driver that we get a better number on. But are we going to take chances that early in the race at a number?
Like when you and I tend to bet these stage one props, it's when we don't think that the drivers behind us could get us if it stayed green. And that's the
Right.
situation. Like there is
Right.
no way we are losing
Right.
that bet if it's
Right.
green. You know?
Right.
But it might
But
they might
again,
be buying the pull might be plus 150. I don't know.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Like if it's Kyle Larson, what is it going to be? 150?
Yeah, could be. Could be.
And you might not be able to bet a second driver.
Yeah, that's true. We'll have to see how it looks. They don't come out till Sunday morning, which sucks.
Yeah. One of the other bets I was looking at prior to odds dropping, and you probably haven't looked at this bet, so I'll ask you what you think it would be, is winner of the race car number, odd or even.
Well, the 5, the 9, and the 45.
Yeah, they're all odd.
That's pretty fucking good. What are the odds?
More than what I wanted to pay.
Yeah. Like at that point, I'd rather take Reddick out, add Byron, and take the plus
one. Byron's an even number.
no, but I'm saying take the plus 150 with Hendrick to win the race. You're basically substituting Byron for Reddick at that point.
Right. But I mean, it gives you Suarez.
Oh, that's true. It gives you a couple other guys.
It gives you Chastain. It gives you Buescher. It doesn't give you Cindric. Obviously, Kyle Busch, it doesn't give you. Byron, we already talked about. Bowman would be an even number. But it was minus 155. I was hoping it would come in at maybe minus 110, 120.
Who do you think is the surprise Ford that could come out of nowhere this week? You think there is one?
The Ford that scares me is Blaney. And I don't know if you really want to call him a surprise.
I would say he's probably one of the favorites to run well in terms of Ford tomorrow on Sunday.
So, Keselowski maybe.
Okay.
I don't know, but like, I don't I don't really think there. I think there's 4 Fords, and that's it. Maybe Logano, if you want to call him a surprise, but
Blaney, Buescher, Cindric, McDowell.
Yeah.
Denver's going to sweep this team, huh?
They might. Looking good. They didn't sweep them. They've lost.
Oh, it would be 4-1, right? 4-1.
3-1, yeah.
If they won, yeah. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. All right, so what else? What else do we have to look at?
The manufacturers.
Oh, right. Okay. Top Chevy, top Toyota, top Ford. Let's start with the Fords. Cindric plus 350, Harvick 4-1, Buescher 5-1, McDowell 5-1, Blaney 7-1, Logano 7-1. So no surprise there. They priced them accordingly.
Right.
I don't really think Happy's a threat, obviously, but the odds are.
But if you go back to the beginning of the show where you talked about pricing and using multiple books, you can get much better numbers than what you just mentioned.
Right. So where are the best? I have a bunch of books open right now. Where do you see the best numbers?
I can get 425 on Cindric at Betfred. I think the general public can get 400.
Okay. The general public. What a cunt. What a cunt.
Um,
uh,
Busher plus 500 at Caesars and MGM,
okay.
and McDowell 750 at 365.
And Blaney set. Can you beat 700 on Blaney?
See, that's the thing. All right. I don't want to bet a fourth driver, and that fourth driver would be Ryan Blaney.
You can't leave him out, Coop. How can you leave him out? Mister, all you do is talk about momentum in NASCAR. How are you going to leave him out?
Yeah, that's why I might not make this bet.
But wait, like why? So you're not happy with a unit and a half minimum profit?
Yeah, I know, but I would hate to bet $1,000 on four drivers and fucking Kevin Harvick or Joey Logano fuck me.
Yeah, it's not the windfall could not be enough. That's true.
That's why I don't want to take a fourth driver.
Yeah. If I'm betting that, right, I'm taking Austin Cindric and Ryan Blaney. I can't believe in Busher and McDowell. They haven't done it enough. They haven't done it long enough.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't trust it. If they, you know what, if they'll surprise me tomorrow if they're in the top 8 or 6. They will. I'm going to say it now. They're going to surprise me because I don't know. I know that Busher's team, like these teams, focus all their money and energy into the races that they think that they could win. And I know that both of them think that they could win every road course that they're on. And that's
Right.
the only thing that scares me about Busher and McDowell. But they're so hard to
But then just think of the opposite, okay, for Ryan Blaney. All right. He's been solid here, but not phenomenal by any means. Okay. He's leading in points. So does he just say, hey, I want to have a good day today? I don't want to have, any issues in pit road. I want to make sure it's a clean race for me. And I want to finish around, 10th to 12th to 13th.
You could be right.
Right. I don't, that's what, but again, the one Ford that scares me is Blaney. Harvick doesn't, and Keselowski and Logano. If one of them end up being the top Ford, we've had some crazy shit happen. And we're probably fucked in general.
That's not the attitude. That's not the attitude I'm looking to hear on a Friday night. You know what I mean?
But I mean, it's the truth. It's the truth. God. It's just, Blaney has some really good numbers here, man. Consistently, finishes around the top 10. So I don't know. But tough. See, on the other end, I want to play the top Ford bet more than the group bets because the numbers are better.
Yeah, but I was just thinking about something like that though. What if you split? What if you split the bets in a way where you're kind of like you have the opportunity to hit them all, but you also have the opportunity to not get killed, where it's almost like a built-in hedge, like taking Blaney and Cindric in the top Ford, but taking Busher and McDowell in a group bets where you don't think that where they're going against guys that you don't think will be in the top 5 or top 10 at the end of the race. Because chances are, I don't think that any of these guys are going to have to be deep into the top 10 in order to win this bet. I don't think the top 6 cars are going to be Fords. Come to my head.
Right.
That.
See, that's why I don't want to do the group bet Cindric and Busher over Bell and Blaney because I think Blaney can get me. That's why I like the one on bet Fred most because it has Bell and Harvick, but it only has Buescher. So I would be leaving Buescher out in that sense.
Right. Yeah.
Tough, man.
It is tough. Top Toyota is not worth looking at, obviously.
Really?
Top Toyota?
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck's going to beat Tyler Reddick? What are you just going to take a money price grab on Bubba, or like Ty?
like what you would have won last year?
Yeah, but you gotta throw that last year's race out for Reddick. He's just been too good everywhere else.
Look at the numbers, man.
20-1. Bet365 has 20-1 on Bubba, 10-1 on Ty. I don't know. I mean, Bubba's been so good all year. Would it shock me? No. But man, it's a tough ask. It's a tough ask to beat Reddick.
I don't disagree.
Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Will Byron. See, like I look at what is the best number that you can get on Will Byron to be the top Chevy? Like he's 5.5 to 1 at Bet365, 10-1 to win the race. Like Reddick could win this race, Suarez could win this race. I guess Chastain, Cindric, Blaney.
I mean, do you just take HMS and hope one of them, all three HMS, you take the best number on all three of them?
I think like that. That's what your decision is. Like, do you take Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott at like 3-1 and just say one of those guys is going to be king, or do you just take HMS at plus 150 and add Byron in there? But you know what, though? The big thing is that you don't have to necessarily win the race. Like if a Chevy doesn't win the race, you could still cash that bet if you took Larson and Elliott. That's the trade-off. Do you want to add Will Byron in, but they have to win the race? Or do you want to take Larson and Elliott and have everybody else be out and they don't have to win the race? They just have to be the top Chevy. Actually, when I think about it like that, I think I would.
What's Byron on Caesar's top Chevy?
5.
And at Barstool?
He is 6.
Yeah, so he's 6 at MGM too. So you don't want to take 3 of them. You just want to take HMS.
Oh wow, see the numbers at Barstool are different. 3-1 on Larson, 3.5 to 1 on Elliott. Can you beat that?
Well, what was 365 for him?
Way less. It's 275 and 275.
So they're 260 and 310 at MGM.
They're 3 and 350 at Barstool. Like that, I guess I could see.
I mean, basically, are you going to take both of those bets or just one of them?
I think I would take one of them.
Now, why wouldn't you take both of them?
Because we're going to be down fucking $10,000 if they go down in flames, and Ross Chastain wins the race.
But do you think? So I guess it basically comes down. Do you have more confidence in Reddick, Cindric, Busher, and McDowell than Suarez and Chastain?
Well, I kind of think like just the fact that Reddick's in there, it has to be that side. Wouldn't you
Because I
agree?
mean, if he wins or Cindric wins or Bush or McDowell, you could still win the top Chevy.
Yeah, and they could win.
Right.
I think, man, Coop, we can't narrow it down to 2 though. That fucking Will Byron number is just so good, man.
But again, like that's my concern with Byron is what if he qualifies third? I don't know. Does he have the ability to, and then like the other piece too that, sits in the back of my head. And I know we say this a lot, especially as we get closer to the end of the playoffs. But with the situation that Chase Elliott's in, do you think if all three of them are up there, do you think that they let Chase Elliott in the lead and the other two just protect him so that he can ensure his way to the playoffs?
That's so hard. Like for somebody like Kyle Larson,
or do you say
so hard for him to
hey,
do?
we're fighting right, or we're fighting for a championship too. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And we need more stage points.
Let's be honest.
Right.
Like the last fucking thing that Kyle Larson and Will Byron want to see is Chase Elliott in the playoffs.
Right, but like what if Mr. H says, "I want Elliott in there. I'm paying you. I'm the sponsor of your fucking car."
Happen? Does that happen? Like they make calls like that? They won't let them just race it out.
I don't know. Like
I
again,
mean,
like
he
we're
did
not
get a
privy to
raw
that.
deal. He got a raw deal breaking the leg and everything. Like, I don't know. You could be right. That would be wild. Can you imagine if they're running like 1, 2, 3, and all of a sudden it's like F1 and you see Elliott go by them and they start protecting? That would be crazy, bro. I think that I'd rather take the top Chevy than HMS. But the trade-off is if it goes down, you're not losing 1 unit. You're losing like 3 or 2 if you only took two of the 3. That's the trade-off.
But like if you bet all 3, are you going to get more than 1.5 units?
I mean, if it's Will Byron, you'll make 4.
It's Will Byron, right?
Yeah, you'll make.
But
4.
if it's Elliott and Larson, it's not.
Well, like, let me ask you a question. Like, if you put Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott at a 10 level to win this race, right? What's Will Byron? 9.3? He's been so good. I mean, like, yeah, I think he could really win. Yeah.
And like the other thing that sits in the back of my mind with Will Byron is fucking Pig Crew's been so good this year. So good.
Consistent.
So good.
How many times have we seen him have a sub 10-second pit stop this year?
So again, like, but if you bet all 3 of them, you're not getting a unit and a half off of Elliott and Larson.
Yeah, you would make a unit on Kyle Larson. Yeah, you would make a unit and a half on Elliott.
So it's almost just better to just go with the HMS wins. If you're worried about, the money.
Right. Yeah. If you don't want to get that invested, yeah, you just bet the 1 unit on HMS at plus 150. Yeah.
Right.
True. I see these 3 top Chevy numbers, and my gut reaction this week is what a great base for parlays. That's what my gut. That's what my gut says. What a great base to start a parlay. Listen, bro, we haven't done it in a month. Okay, all I'm asking you is wet the beak. Be lukewarm. Be lukewarm to the possibility this week. That's
All right,
all.
so I'll
You
ask.
don't have to
I'll
get
ask.
mad. If we're hitting something on Sunday, you're going to be fucking ill.
I'll ask my man signed. This is the only one I'm considering. Eagle wins, Joker wins, and then the top fours. Can both of them win? And I mean, I know on paper they can both win, but like in reality,
You're
are they both winning?
Ego wins the French, Joker wins the French.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're both going to say, Signed is going to say yes. I'm almost positive.
Well, I know he is because he's all over Joker.
Yeah. Y2J
like,
said, you're late to the parlay party, boys. You settle the fuck down, Y2J. Okay?
Like, what would that number be? Because I imagine you're not going to get a bunch
Ega,
on Ega.
She's like
minus
-1,000, right? Yeah. That's. He said Joker -1.5 sets. Give you a better price.
I hate those fucking props.
Signed, he's going to be so sick on Sunday. He's going to be so sick when we're making moves tomorrow night on that show, and he's not going to know what the fuck is going on. And Sunday, we're going to show up 25-1 bangers. He's going to be like, you motherfuckers. That's what's going to happen on Sunday.
No. What is Otter talking about in the comments?
What? You know, this is videoing this kind of conversation like how you would without recording it is a good idea, man. This is something. Oh, he's saying that how we talk, how we record the show. Just me and you having a conversation about our attack for the week. Yeah, this show is invaluable, man, to really honing in on exactly what we're going to be on Sunday, for sure. I guess that's it. I think we went through all the markets. So Xfinity we could talk about.
Yeah, go ahead. I got to use it.
Yeah, I just want to see if they even released odds. Only outrights. +110. What a joke. So in the Xfinity race, there was I went on during the week. I said to myself, when Kyle Larson and AJ Allmendinger are in an Xfinity road course race, chances are they're going to run 1-2. Doesn't matter who's in the field. Ty Gibbs, phenomenal in the Xfinity series on road courses. Absolutely phenomenal. So Bet 365 had -120 top three for Kyle Larson, -120 top three for Dinger, +160 for Gibbs. I took all three, thinking we should be able to get 2 out of the 3 home. We might get all 3. Because they're just better than all the Xfinity series regulars. So I bet those earlier in the week, sent them out, told everybody that I was on them. Also, the pinned my pinned tweet on the Sports Keg Twitter account right now is a way to get these plays in real time. All you have to do is subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. And I try to get them out as quick as I bet them. Or get in the Discord. That's obviously always another way. So I took both those. I took all 3 of those guys to hit the top 3. During practice, Kyle Larson looks like he has the nuts. He's a second better at least than the entire field. So I tried to bet 1 unit on him to win the race at +210. When I went to FanDuel to do that, they let me bet $150. So I went to all 5 FanDuel accounts and I bet $150. So I have almost a unit on him to win the race. I couldn't get any more down, and he came back plus 120, plus 110. The number's totally gone. But I thought I saw Amendinger somewhere. I thought was like 3-1 to win the race. Maybe you might be able to find. I'm not sure, but it looks like it's Larson, Dinger, and the rest. Coop, you agree? You see anybody beating those two?
Not unless we see some crazy stuff, which we could. But the thing I think with the Xfinity is, let's say like a Larson or an Allmendinger get pushed to the back, like they can get up to the front a lot quicker than what they would be able to in Cup. So I think that's helpful for them. But in the end, like it depends upon how far back they are, because they're not going to make up 10, 15 seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if it were to happen, they're going to need some cautions to be able to do it. I mean, Creed looks pretty damn good, but Creed does crazy things.
I'm with you. Like in the Discord, I said the best thing about this race right now, the way it's set up, is that Larson and Allmendinger skew this board so much that the odds on everybody else are so good. All the guys last week that we thought were going to be good on road courses, Custer, Creed, Allgaier would have got it done for us, Sammy Smith, all those guys, the prices are fucking berserk, where we'll be able, now that we're already set up with those top threes and we have Kyle Larson at plus 210, you're set up very well to make money and still take shots on monster numbers during the race if we have to. So yeah, I'm with you. I want nothing more in life than us to be betting Sheldon Creed tomorrow at 12-1, because that means that he's probably going to win the race and we're set up lovely. So
Yeah, but then I lose my chance at 25 on Elliott.
Yeah, you just eat that and worry about it after the race on Saturday. That's what you do there. You take that 12 and you move on. So yeah, we're set up really well because of where we're at going in. So that's Xfinity. We don't have any trucks for a couple weeks.
Now, Sign says to bet Joker minus 1.5 sets. Like that's minus 250. Like, is there a better number than another book?
I'm not sure. Creed is 16-1 right now. Nemechek 20. The numbers are crazy. So hopefully they come storming. That's best case scenario is like Larson and Dinger run second and third, and we get a fucking huge number on the winner. That would be great.
Yeah, but like let's think through that. Like,
did you bet the top threes with me?
So no, I didn't.
You fuck.
If Dinger and Larson fall back, and like one of those guys get up there, like, are we really going to get a 12-1 number, or is it going to be 6 or 7-1?
It'll probably be like 10, 8, 9, somewhere around there. But you're still making 7 units in the race. These numbers are just going to allow you to get a number. They're too good. He said Rude wins 2 sets. No, minus 205 on DK is the best number.
They don't have top manufacturers on DK, so
you should have bet those top threes with me.
Yeah. You know how I feel about minus numbers. I'm not broadening my horizon this week. Maybe it's your week to broaden the horizon.
I might have thrown a unit away with Gibbs to hit the top 3 at plus 160, but we'll see.
I didn't watch practice. Like, I know you can't tell much about practice, but like,
It was,
on the road courses, because you don't get many laps, but like, was he just not good?
I mean, he wasn't bad. He qualified in the top 5. He's in the second row, I think.
The qualifying's tomorrow, man.
Or I'm sorry, he was the 3rd fastest in practice.
Okay.
Or 4th fastest behind Creed. It was like Larson, Creed, Dinger by like 1/100th of a second, I think. And then I think Gibbs was 4th fastest. But Larson just blew the fucking field away. Like 5 laps into this race, he would have a 5-second lead. That kind of blew the field away.
Oh.
Yeah, he was very, very fast. But
So
you know,
are there any other parlays out there? Like, I need better numbers than 200.
oh yeah, I would be looking. I'll be looking towards the UFC between now and tomorrow at 5:00.
Oh. I mean, I saw y'all's conversation today about a couple matches, and I mean, like, there were 3 different opinions. Like, I don't know how confident I would feel betting on some of that shit.
Gotta go with your gut, my guy. If you think tennis is the safer route, go with tennis. So how many more matches? How many more matches do we have? Like, this is it, the finals, and that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
When are they? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow and Sunday.
Oh, I got that fucking Iga bet signed. I forgot about that bet. He made me bet like Iga to win the French at like minus 130, I think.
Xfinity has stage breaks?
I don't think so.
I didn't think so either.
I don't remember. Did they have stage breaks last weekend?
Well, last weekend was different because they had they didn't have their pit teams.
Oh, right. That's right. They were in Portland. I'm not sure.
I thought it was just like Cup.
He likes the boxing main event tomorrow to go the distance minus 150.
I mean, aren't there any matches in the UFC that are just going to go the distance?
Yeah, hold on. Yep, there's 4 of them tomorrow that are going to go the distance. You want them?
I mean, last time I asked about that, y'all did a pretty good job of giving the answers. And they all worked. Like, I just can't trust the fucking judges, man.
Yeah, judges are rough, my guy. Judges are rough-ski.
And
there
again,
are a few fights that should go the distance. Probably both chick fights should go the distance.
We're already talking about, like, throughout the show, like, there's not much room for error. And, like,
Yeah, but you can't look at it like that. That's not how you look. See, that's where your thinking is wrong, right? It's a little different for you because you probably wouldn't bet the UFC ordinarily anyway. But for somebody like me, if I'm going to bet a fighter anyway, right? There's
hold on. Can I call time out real quick? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
sorry. We need to get Adam Pockras on this stage thing for the Xfinity. Can he find out if there's stage breaks or not? Go ahead.
What I was going to say is that, like, if I'm betting Charles Oliveira, right, tomorrow, regardless of fucking, as long as the apocalypse doesn't come, I'm on Charles Oliveira tomorrow. So, like, if that's the case, I don't have a problem with putting a certain percentage of my bet trying to gear it towards making money on Sunday because it's not like you're losing value in a NASCAR race because it really doesn't have anything to do with the NASCAR race. You're making that MMA bet. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it from that perspective.
Yeah, like, but for you,
But me, I'm not making that MMA bet.
right. You probably wouldn't sit down and make 3 MMA bets on, but like tonight, for example, if you were going to make that total, that first quarter under bet, regardless of what happened, what's the difference if you tie half that bet to something you like on Sunday?
Like,
you're not taking anything away from the profit you're going to make on Sunday because that basketball bet's going to win or lose regardless.
So Adam says, read the chat. So are there stage breaks? Just give me a yes or no.
Read the chat. What are you going to make me go to the Discord? You can't just tell me.
So do you feel more confident that Kyle Larson wins tomorrow at plus 120 or whatever the hell the numbers are now than some of these USC bets?
God, see, like the it's always tricky when you try to analyze something like that because I think that he has a better chance to win that race tomorrow based on performance more than any fighter that's on the card tomorrow. The problem is, just like with judging, everything could go wrong in a NASCAR race and it could be total fucking chaos. But if you're talking to me about performance, yeah, he has a better chance to win that race tomorrow based on his skill level and car than any fighter has to win tomorrow in the UFC. Yes.
Because if there are stage breaks, like his plus 110, 120 should be like minus 150, minus 200. Because he's going to pit before because he's not racing for points.
No stage breaks, Mart. No stage breaks.
All right.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So that,
DraftKings took Allmendinger off the board. You can't even bet him to win the race at DraftKings. What a shit show! I don't know. The book.
Like how can they put a legal betting thing out there and not have one of the drivers available?
They got Kyle Larson at plus 120, and your second option is Ty Gibbs at 6.5 to 1.
Why don't they have Dinger?
I'm not sure, but they don't.
But how can they do that?
He'll pop up before the fucking race.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. All right, I feel good. I feel good, man. I think we're gonna make money. Do I think we're gonna make as much money as we did last week? No, because we don't have a truck race where we can nail 20 to 1 numbers that we know are rock solid. But I think we'll get through this week without getting killed. We'll make some money. Philly said Dinger is plus 185 on his DK. Maybe I'm not allowed to bet Dinger, I guess, at DraftKings.
What? That sounds about right. Let's see if I can bet him.
Can you bet Dinger at DraftKings?
Well, you said you didn't have groups too for something.
No, or matchups. Yeah.
Oops. Yeah, plus 185. But I don't have matchups either. Maybe it's a New Jersey thing.
That's the number, Philly. FanDuel, Dinger, 3 to 1. I don't mind that number. Like, I know Larson had a second on him, bro. But listen, AJ Allmendinger in this series on a road course, he's just built different. He is gonna be coming, I think, at some point in that race. I really don't mind that number, to be honest. But I'm right as of right now. I've only bet Larson at plus 210.
Did I saw a tweet earlier and it said Kyle Larson's 5 lap average was faster than anybody's single lap.
I think that's true. I could check though. Coop, he dusted the field. He dusted them. His 5 lap average was like over a half second better than anybody.
Jeez.
Dinger was second though. All right. I guess that's it, boys. Long night tomorrow. We'll be back 6:30. We got the card starting. We got a nighttime Xfinity race tomorrow night. That'll be fun. And then Sunday we'll be live at 3:30 for the Toyota Save Mart 350 live from Sonoma Raceway. So we're out. We will see you guys tomorrow at 6:30. You probably won't see Coop because he's a part-timer. He doesn't do the whole weekend. He's only a part-timer here. But you'll definitely see me. You'll see a picture of Gavin, but you'll probably hear him say about 10 words.
You have a better chance of seeing Gavin tomorrow night than me.
Oh, there you have it. There you have. Oh, look at Meyer. Shoot me the link to my. Let's go. Now we're cooking with gas, Meyer. Yeah, so it'll be me, Yig, Johnny Boy, Meyer, Gav, making money. So we're out. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 6:30. Good luck with your action this weekend. And that's it. Let's cash some tickets. Later.